DC and Marvel Comics have been on a grooming agenda for a long time. Not just them, but the entire comic book industry is pushing these narratives, these storylines, trying to get kids roped into these lifestyles. It's absolutely disgusting. We've been calling it out on the channel since our inception. That's exactly what we're here to do, to stop this evil from permeating through our culture and propose a different culture, one actually focused on goodness, on truth, on justice, and of course, the American way. Now, DC's new initiative is not something new. It's actually stemming out of the Arrowverse, something that was gross from the CW in 2021. If you ever watched the Supergirl show had a great first season. It was very interesting. It was on CBS and made as a family program, and so it was a lot of fun. Once it got into season 2, they moved it to the CW, and on the CW, they just started this weird drama where everybody had to have some LGBTQ connection. That resulted in the first trans superhero, which is like, oh God, it's an eye roll situation, of course. And they called the character the Dreamer because they're dreaming of being a they/them, right? Rather than, it's absolutely absurd how they do this and try to make these lifestyles seem sexy and wonderful. At the same time, they cry victim for being part of these lifestyles every single time. And there's a reason for that. It's because most of these lifestyles stem from sexual abuse as children, and that's actually being carried on to the next generation. That's a whole nother video. I can do hours on that topic. It's disgusting. But I really want this stuff out of comics, and of course you do too. That's why we're here. I really appreciate you. My name's John Delarose. I am the editor-in-chief of FandomPulse.com, your most trusted name in comics news. And of course, on top of that, I also make my own comic books and books, which you can look at on my web store right here. If you want to support something that does not have grooming in comics and is a little bit different, check these out, guys. I really recommend Cosmic Warrior and Overmind as your first offerings from me. And if you like those, move on to the rest of my universe, because we have a lot of fun here, and it's good, wholesome, old school comic stuff that DC really doesn't do anymore. So the story today is DC Comics is pushing transgender ideology on teens with Bad Dream, a Dreamer story, a comic spinoff from the Arrowverse. Now, they hailed this as the first transgender superhero ever. You notice all the filters they have to make this guy who is pretending to be a woman look like an actual woman. You wouldn't really know it without the filters, right? And that's what they do. Once it gets in the cartoon, of course, it's really just a female in a cartoon, because they can do that when they just draw a character. And now the actor who played is a guy acting like a girl, and of course the character is a guy who the parents encourage them to be a girl. Absolutely crazy stuff that they're doing here. It literally is a story of grooming as a child being brought into this universe as DC Comics. But it's actually being hailed and published as a teen book. So this is teen and young adult fiction category on Penguin Random House, and they are trying to make this so that young girls, I presume, want to become men, or I don't even know what their agenda is at this point. It's just to confuse children about who they are and actually try to ruin their lives at the end of the day. That's all that gets accomplished for this. And it gets weirder because DC actually put this in their mainline books. This is from one of their comics over the last week. Here it is, the most powerful than she could ever dream of. The never-before-told origin story of Dreamer, the first trans superhero to appear on TV. They actually hired the actor who played the character to write this, because you got to have own voices, right? You know, you have to have the trans person write the trans character. Otherwise, it's bigoted on that level. It's cultural appropriation, after all. And this is what DC is doing across the board, across their lines at this point. We've seen it with Hawk Girl and the weird lesbian stuff they were doing last year. We know how they changed gay Green Lantern. They have gay Superman. They have gay Robin. Now it's like, that's not enough. Gay was so 2022. And so they're going to have to turn everybody into trans at this point. Now, Mags Visaggio was out there a few months ago about a storyline turning Connor Kent, Superboy, into a girl as a trans allegory story. And this is something that they've wanted to do for a long time. And that got rejected, but they're now pushing these characters in here. So how long will that be rejected for? I mean, they might bring that character back just for some clout at this point in the industry, because this is all they are aiming to do, is corrupt children. Leave a comment with what you think about this down below. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to check out my books, the alternative to DC Comics, right here. If you like Supergirl, things like that, the old school, you will love Flying Sparks. I can tell you that. We'll see you soon.